How's everybody doing today? It is February 15th, 2021, and I have a few articles here that I've pulled together. We're going to continue to try to catch back up. It has been an insane 2 weeks, but I'm not going to get into everything going on with me. I want to get this information out there to you and catch up as fast as possible because there's so much going on right now. Okay, check this out. This is from yesterday. It says the CDC director says the UK variant could be the dominant strain in US by March. This is crazy because about a week ago, it was in the car and on the radio, they were talking to Dr. Oz, right, from, TV, and he said the same thing, that he said flat out that these new variants would take control in March. Literally the same thing by March. Once again, they know the time they know exactly when it's going to happen. How from something that's so unknown that you say you can't do this, you can't do that because it's all so, unknown and nobody knows what to do, but yet you continue to perfectly hit these dates in months, in, weeks that you're saying it's going to happen, okay? This says Washington, says Dr. Rochelle Walensky, director of the CDC and Prevention, predicted Sunday that a new strain of the CV that was first identified in the United Kingdom has since been detected in the U.S. may be the dominant strain here by the end of March. Okay, so this is more fear, right? Push the fear, push the fear. The first one was here, we took care of that, but now there's these new variants, and we don't know if if you roll up your sleeves, if that'll help it or not. They just keep continuing to push the agenda side to side and manipulate it and use it the way they need to at that time. We had the Brazil one, then we had the South Africa variant, these mutant strains that they called them, and how much more deadly they were and contagious. You see all the fear porn, over and over and over again. It goes on, it says, in an interview with Face the Nation, Walensky said there are more than 1,000 cases of the UK variant known as B.1.17 in 39 states. It says we estimate now that about 4% of the disease in the country is related to the B.1.17, she said, and we have projections that it may be the dominant strain by the end of March. Yep, so here we go. This is another way for them to use their phases that I always talk about, how they roll these things out. Now they're getting through to millions and millions of people. They've already had them have their first, time they rolled sleeve, then the next. Now they're talking about, you're going to have a booster in 3 months because this wears off. Now this will be the next one. Oh, you got to go get another booster. You got to go get these 2, times to go roll up your sleeve for these new mutant variants. It's just the same story. They just continue to rinse and repeat and use it over and over again. It says public health officials warn that the UK variant is more transmissible and argue the new strain, as well as another identified in South Africa and a third from Brazil, underscores the need for the American people to get quickly rolling up your sleeves. It says Walensky said that pharmaceutical companies are adjusting their science to neutralize the B.1.17 variant, and the CDC is watching the epidemiology with people who have already received their CV rolling up the sleeve. Says, but we're not waiting for that, she said. We're doing the science to scale up different rolling up your sleeves in case we either need to bivalent roll up your sleeves. That is a roll up your sleeve that has 2 different strains, or booster vax. It says both are happening. All right. Oh, you can just see this. It says, while Walensky predicted that the U.S. strain could be dominant by the end of the next month, she said it should not deter efforts to reopen schools, which is a priority of the Biden administration. The CDC released highly anticipated guidelines Friday for getting children back into classrooms, which included recommendations for phased reopenings based on rates of community transmission before taking office. President Biden set a goal of getting most schools reopened in the first 100 days in office. Well, for something that's so deadly, you continue to want to put our children in harm's way. And I don't care if you want to say it's because they're very unlikely to get it or it doesn't end up being, deadly in them. It doesn't matter if it's one child. One. You should not be doing this if you were telling the truth about how bad it really is. goes on. It says, what we know from the scientific literature is that most disease transmission does not happen in the walls of the school. It comes from the community, she said. There's very limited transmission between students and staff, really, mostly between staff to staff when there are breaches in mask wearing. Check this out, okay? This just is such a complete lie. Listen, I mean, they're telling, look, there's very limited transmission between students and staff. What about the flu, right? So does that have low transmission? They don't pass that around like crazy, or the colds that they get, they don't pass those around like crazy? Really? You don't make much sense here. It says, so what we're really advocating for now is working to get especially in high areas of transmission, the red zones. You just talked about getting our K-5 kids back into a hybrid mode with universal mask wearing and 6 feet of distancing. So your tiny little children, your 8, 9, 10, whatever it is, year old, has to wear these masks and stay 6 feet away, can't touch anybody, can't do anything. Yeah, that's realistic, right? Says Walensky stressed mitigation strategies such as mask wearing and social distancing are crucial to protecting against the CV strain. It says the B117 variant may be less forgiving when we have breaches in these mitigation strategies, but the mitigation strategies are indeed the same. There have been more than 27.5 million CV cases in the U.S., and the death toll stands at more than 484,000, according to the lovely Johns Hopkins University. Walensky previously predicted the nation would see more than 500,000 deaths from CV by mid-February. You can continue to push this number up as high as you want. Use it the way that you're doing to push the fear, but we see through it, okay? And remember how I've shown you for the flu, on an average flu season, there is 45 million flu cases, okay? That is in a shorter time period, a 4-month, 5-month, whatever, even say 6-month time period, okay? Compared to CV now that is literally over a year, okay? And it's still about half of what the flu does in, such a shorter time. She said Sunday that there's still 100,000 cases per day, between 1,500 and 3,500 tests daily, and warned against relaxing mitigation strategies. Both Montana and Iowa, for example, have lifted their mask mandates. See, they're going to use this later. They're going to use this type of stuff right here that's in the mainstream, how they, Iowa and Montana both said you don't have to wear a mask now. They're going to use this, okay? Look at, we can't relax the mitigation. This is a setup. This is a perfect leading story so that in a little bit they can say, they should have just kept wearing, if they would have just kept wearing their masks, we would not be in this situation. Now we got to do this. We got to lock you down or make, the vax mandatory or whatever it is, right? It says we are nowhere out of the woods, Walensky said. And as you know, if we relax the mitigation strategies with increasing transmissible variants out there, we could be in a much more difficult spot. So what I would say is now is the time to not let up our guard. Now is the time to double down. Still, with 100,000 cases a day, still with over 2.5 times the cases we had over the summer. Yeah, it's kind of funny, the double down, just like you recommended, wearing a double mask. I mean, this is just crazy, right? We're 2 of them now, It's nuts. Let's keep going, though, because I want you to see all this ties in, okay? Look at this. It says San Francisco, LA prioritized the second shots and closed some sites because, they're out, right? They're running out. Look at this. San Francisco is the latest California city to temporarily shutter a mass roll-up-your-sleeve site due to the lack of it. It says joining LA in pausing inoculations amid a nation shortage, even as new federal state roll-up-your-sleeve sites open up. Yeah, they're opening up everywhere. And I'm going to show you that. They're opening up everywhere because look right here. You have people like this. Jordan giving $10 million for North Carolina health clinics, to go and open up all these different places. He's already done a bunch before. Look at, he says, the Novant health clinics are set to open in 2022 in New Hanover County and along North Carolina's southeastern coast, according to a statement from the system. It says the gift marks one of the largest ever from the Basketball Hall of Fame athlete, the news outlet reported. Jordan previously gave, right here, $7 million to Charlotte in 2019 and 2020. Those clinics have since seen more than 4,500 patients and have administered nearly 1,000 CV roll-up-your-sleeves. So, right? So what do you think we're doing here? It's a bigger one. It's $3 million more. There you go. Ties right back into here. where they're going to continue to make these mass, sites that they're going to send you to. It says the mayor of Los Angeles said Monday that the city will prioritize people needing second shots after closing its sites at Dodger Stadium and other locations last week when it received just 16,000 doses, far fewer than usual. So they're complaining, oh, we aren't getting enough, we're not getting enough. It's just very, very obvious what is going on here. Okay, and then here we go. This is from today, another one that they have now approved. The World Health Organization lists AstraZeneca CV19 vax for emergency use. There we go. Another one that they're okay with telling you to go ahead and go get it done. It's sad each day seeing how many people have ran and got these things. You're just hearing so many bad stories, but we got to be careful. We can't get into that. So it was another thing I want to show you right here, because just like I was showing you with Jordan, how he's putting that money in, right, to build these other clinics. Well, look at it's happening everywhere. This is worldwide stuff. Okay, UK opens quarantine hotels, pushes on with the vax drive. Yeah, I bet you are. Pushing it as hard as they can. Look at this. It's fast moving vax drive. I mean, they're doing everything they can to get these shots, these jabs into people as fast as they can before these people obviously wake up and see the truth and don't show up or don't want to do it. It's nuts. But I'm going to leave this here. I just wanted to go over a few articles with you. I just want to thank everybody for the prayers for my mom. Things have definitely been tough lately. She's been, really sick, and the last couple of days have been pretty good, so that's nice. And that's all I can keep doing is just pray and let God give me my strength to get through it, because everybody needs it right now, and I know more than ever right now that I need that full armor, that strength, everything that I am given by having my faith and my relationship with Jesus is so important. And I just hope that if you don't have that, hit your knees today, ask for forgiveness, and I promise you will never regret it. Okay, everybody make that plan. Just get at least it wrote down with your family. Let them know where you're going to go if something happens, and just try to be 1 or 2 steps ahead if you can, because even if you have stuff set up and it buys you 1 day ahead of what happens, that 1 day could be massive to help your family survive depending on what happens. Okay, everybody continue. There's no fear. Continue to get in your Bibles. Stay in the Word. It will balance you and keep you grounded. Okay, remember, no panic, no fear, just preparation. We'll talk to you soon. God bless.